Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. What's going on? What's going on? The street trading here, popping up our weekly watch list here, kicking off the last trading week of January. We are, what's today? Monday, January 27th, 2020. Let's get into it. So, we're looking at the 15-minute chart. We got kicking off with Boeing BA after a solid bounce last week on Wednesday, Thursday for solid demand. These guys looking like it was going to, obviously the line in the sand was drawn, but what happens? Waking up to more reports of another Boeing plane crashing, this time in the Afghan region. Holy shit, these guys can't catch a break. So, listen, we were bullish. We're changing our buys. Obviously, we're just going to short every pop we see because, there's just so much negative catalyst around these guys right now. So it definitely 100% probably has most of the investors very, losing their ability to try to make any kind of money off these guys. At the end of the day, the fear is in the market, and you're gonna have the boys, definitely definitely pushing that fear deeper into the retail sector. So, that being said, until the panic is done, might as well take some opportunities and take some profits from these shares being dumped back on the market. So we're gonna be shorting this thing every pop down to the 290s. So, obviously if things turn around, these guys will switch our buys, but till that happens, might as well just make money from the rest of the emotional market. So we're gonna be short BA for this week's session. Baba, again, they're taking a hit as well. You can see pre-market, but again, the dust will settle. We would love to see this thing coming down to this level here. So at the end of the day, we got another 5, 6, 7 points. Let it keep fading. No problem at all. Let it keep fading. The bounce will come in. It'll be a solid risk reward. So we're gonna be bullish once the dust settles for BA. CDW, we got a nice bounce off last week's session sell off. So again, if these levels, we need a 136, 130, 136.50, 136 to hold any pullbacks and putting in higher highs and higher lows, and we'll definitely get into this thing to the upside. Probably fill this gap this week. But again, these levels need to hold any pullbacks, but we like it to the upside and probably to at least the low 140s. 145-ish, depending on how the market's going to react to these guys kicking off today's session. Costco, we actually had this thing going into the weekend, sold off continuing this morning as well. So we like it pushing prices lower. We can definitely see it touching 300. It's what 5.5 points away, so it's not too much to write home about, but nonetheless, enough to have a solid day in the session. So we're going to continue being bearish on Costco. They obviously had a solid run, as you can see from the beginning of the month, but there's some profit taking, as you can see, happening right now off that drop. So we see prices fading out at least to the 300, maybe dipping back down to the 290s. Wouldn't be surprised one bit, but we're going to be bearish on Costco. Any pop shorting. MDB, they're dancing around last week. We were trying to catch this run to the 160 level. We like it. I mean, it's kind of hanging around this level here, and we definitely can see it, holding. Again, it's got to hold this pullback. Pre-market, everything's selling off with the market this morning, but we want to see these levels hold. 145 should not get breached. If it gets breached down here, obviously we'll step aside. But we can see some support happening, and we can see some prices pushing higher. So if it continues to hold here and push higher like we were seeing at the end of last week, then we can definitely see prices pushing in this level into the 160. So we're going to be bullish for MDB, contingent that the 145 does not get breached this week. Netflix, again, selling off, come down quite nicely to a nice level of interest, 340. It'll be a solid bounce right here, so we like it. We're going to be bullish on it. Had a nice strong bounce last week off on Thursday session. We actually had it for our members. Pre-market, we had a nice video for everybody, and obviously now we're seeing, with the rest of the market pulling back, that we don't mind it one bit at all. So we're looking for this level to hold. Obviously, we can see maybe coming down a little bit further to 338. to kind of squeeze the rest of the chasers out and then have a nice bounce. So we're looking back to the 362, 363 level for this week, contingent that this thing doesn't just blow out and come back down at this level. We don't think that's going to happen. We think it should bounce around 340, 339, 338 probably at the least. Maybe even 336, but we don't think it's going to happen. Probably around 338. You should have that nice hold and curl to the upside. Ring Central, definitely think this thing is coming back down. Don't just our opinion as just we do not see these guys living in the 200s. They've had a nice run. That being said, it's Ring Central. Anybody in the States knows who these guys are. So that being said, we can see prices coming back down to the low 190s. So we have a nice, 6-point pullback to the downside. So we're going to be bearish for Ring. Continue, obviously, that, it doesn't live back in the 200s, but we don't think that's going to happen. We think it should be coming back down at this level, maybe the high 180s, but got a 190 price target for Ring. Going to wrap it up with the trade desk. They had a nice bounce off this solid trend from last November. It's breaching it this morning, as you can see. So, you have a nice change in behavior, big picture, nice change in behavior that prices could fade back down. That being said, we think this pressure's on. We think that banks are going to start to mitigate and add here. So we still adamant on a 300. And again, it may push a little bit further lower, but big picture we do stay bullish for the trade desk to the 300, contingent that it just doesn't blow through this 260 like it's not even there. So right now it's pulling back 268. Looking for a nice hold around the 265 level, and again curling back up to that 300. Does not, it's possible, but that's what we're looking at right now. We're not going to hop into anything until we see higher prices print. So that's what we got, guys. We got 8 going into the session, and as always, be patient with price, be patient with setups. As always, let price come to you. Do not chase. You chase, you die, like we always say. Cut your losses if you're wrong, and take a step back, reevaluate your situation. If you're right, hop right back in. That's it, guys. Just preserve your capital. Risk management is #1 priority for consistency. All right, guys, any question, reach out. Members, we're going to be putting up a deeper video for everyone else. All right, guys, have a good one. Remember to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our trading videos.